Hey, beautiful souls, it's Chosen One, your coach's favorite coach. Welcome to my empath point of view. So, in today's video, we're exposing a dangerous cycle, the self sabotaging habit of defending toxic behavior. Ever find yourself making excuses for someone who treats you poorly or questioning if you're overreacting? Let's dive into why we do this, how it's tied to our past trauma, and most importantly, how we can break free from the cycle and stop defending toxicity once and for all. Now, let me get real for a minute. If you ever find yourself defending toxic behavior, whether it's from a partner, a friend, or even family, it's time to stop and take a hard look at why you're doing that. You might tell yourself, for instance, it's not that bad, or they didn't mean it, or maybe you convince yourself that you're just being supportive, that you're trying to help, but deep down, you know there's something more to it. It's like a gut feeling, a little voice saying, why am I allowing this to continue? And I'm here to tell you that voice is right. We've all been there, trust me. Defending someone's toxic behavior is more common than we like to admit. And here's the painful truth. When we defend toxicity, we're not just defending them, we're also defending ourselves, and not in a good way. We're defending old wounds, old beliefs, and old patterns that we've carried for far too long. And until we recognize that, nothing will change. Absolutely nothing. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes in it. No matter how much you pour in, it's never going to hold water. You can keep pouring and keep trying, but until you fix the holes, you'll always end up empty. And that's what defending toxic behavior does. It's like patching up your emotional wounds with excuses instead of healing them. You can keep pretending it's not a problem, but until you face the root of it, you'll never see real lasting change. It'll be a perpetual story you keep reading, a cycle you keep endorsing, all because you're not addressing the root cause. And the more you avoid it, the more you keep writing the same painful chapter over and over again until you realize you have to break that cycle if you ever want to rewrite your story. Now, I know this might sting a little, but as an empath, you've likely been through the ringer. You feel deeply, you love deeply, but that capacity for love, for compassion, can sometimes blind us to our own worth. If you've been in toxic relationships, or if you grew up in a home where dysfunction was normal, defending toxicity can feel familiar. You might even feel like you don't deserve anything better, even though that's not what you're thinking. But here's the hard truth. That's not love. Love is not manipulation. Love is not control. Love is not even emotional games and mind tricks. But if you've been taught to believe that love is supposed to be complicated, painful, or conditional, then defending toxicity is your way of holding on to what feels normal, even if it's destroying you. So why do we defend it? Because deep down, there's trauma that we haven't healed. Maybe, for instance, you were raised in a home where yelling was the way people communicated, and affection was given only after an argument or a power struggle. Or maybe your childhood was filled with emotional neglect, where you were made to feel invisible or unworthy of attention unless you met someone else's needs. Or maybe you've been in relationships where you felt the love, but it was always tied to pain, to uncertainty, to fear. If any of this resonates with you, I want you to understand that this isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal it. Because here's the thing. We teach people how to treat us. Whether we realize it or not, every time we make excuses for toxic behavior, we're saying, it's okay to treat me like this. And every time we ignore our boundaries, every time we make someone's behavior less than what it is to avoid confrontation, we're saying, I don't believe I deserve better. And if that's been your pattern, it's time to break it. You have to break it. Not for anyone else, for you. I know, this might feel heavy, and it should. Because when you defend toxic behavior, you're not just defending the other person, you're defending a version of yourself that doesn't believe deserves peace. You're protecting that part of you that's still wounded, still stuck in the past, still holding on to toxic beliefs about what love and relationships should look like. But healing starts with awareness, and that's why you're here today. It starts with recognizing the pattern for what it is and deciding right now that you're not going to play into it anymore. You don't need to defend toxic behavior. You don't need to explain away someone's hurtful actions. You don't need to make excuses for the way they treat you or stay silent in the name of keeping the peace. You can walk away. And when you do, you realize something. You are stronger than you think. You are worthy of real, kind, unconditional love that doesn't come with emotional baggage. You are worthy of relationships that lift you up, not tear you down. But to get there, you have to stop defending the things that tear you apart. You have to stop making excuses for people who don't respect you. You have to stop allowing your past trauma to dictate your future choices. Now I get it. I know it's not easy. Healing takes time and it requires you to face some uncomfortable truths, but it's worth it. The truth is, you deserve more. You deserve the love you've been giving out to others. You deserve peace, respect, and genuine connection. It's time to break the cycle. So ask yourself right now, why am I defending this? Why am I accepting less than I deserve? The moment you confront that question is the moment you stop defending toxicity. It's also the moment you start to heal. It's the moment you take back your power. It's the moment you decide that you no longer have to be a prisoner to your past trauma. It's the moment you choose you, your happiness, your peace, and your worth. No more excuses. No more defending dysfunction. No more settling for less than you deserve. It's time to break the cycle. It's time to choose healing. It's time to choose yourself. And I believe you can do it. But it starts today, right now. Are you ready to stop defending toxicity? Are you ready to break the cycle? The choice is always yours. It starts when you put yourself first. As always, thank you for listening to my empath point of view. Until next time.